Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. My F28, fiancée, F30, cheated on me. I discovered it 12 days before our wedding. My fiancé and I have been together for 10 years. We had plans to get married back in 2020, but COVID hit and prevented us from doing that. In June 2021, we got legally married and saved the big party for August 2022, hoping COVID would calm down by then. We live in France. Over the past year, I have been dealing with a lot of stress. I switched jobs, we ran into some financial issues because our dog was getting sick every 2 weeks, we had just bought an apartment together, and I was taking care of the wedding pretty much entirely on my own. I begged for her help multiple times, but she refused to get involved or would make efforts for a few days and just drop it after. This caused us to get into a lot of fights, but no one ever talked about ending the relationship. Fast forward to 12 days before the wedding. I had been wanting to get her phone for a while to get her sister's phone number and prepare a surprise for her at the wedding, as she only had 2 people from her family coming. She is American. That is when I discovered the messages. She gave me her phone one night and had left the text messages up on purpose to be sure I would see it, as she told me she wasn't brave enough to tell me herself. I discovered that she had been sleeping with a girl from her job since June 2022, right after our 1 year of being legally married. It happened multiple times in July as well. She had even planned a few days of vacation with that girl when she would be away from me for a few days mid-August. She had invited the girl in our home to spend the night before heading to a spa. I even discovered she did a day trip while I was at work one day in July, when she was supposed to be taking care of her paperwork to stay in the country. Needless to say, I am shattered. I don't know what to do next, as I can't just erase my feelings for her and our 10 years together. Any advice? Edit, we had a talk yesterday. She apologized by telling me everything I did wrong and why I'd pushed her to do this. Turns out she was only really talking to that girl for 2 weeks before meeting up and cheating on me. She then proceeded to send nudes and videos of herself and meet with her again 2 more times. I started packing her stuff this morning, changed my passwords and kicked her off Netflix and such. Going to start divorce process this afternoon. Still can't believe this is happening. I'm truly shattered. Oof. I'm sorry. I hate to jump right to Reddit's traditional breakup, but I don't think that's something I personally could come back from. Knowing she cheated on you the whole time you're married, and that she was actively distancing herself from your wedding, strongly suggests she's mentally and emotionally already left you. She just was too much of a coward to actually do it. At the very least, cancel the wedding. How could you have a big party knowing what she's done? The party has been cancelled indeed. No way I could stand up there and read my vows knowing all this. I also think she is done, but I need her to say it. And she keeps saying she doesn't want to leave. She wants you to be the one to end it because she's too much of a coward to do it herself. You may never get what you want from her at this point. It sucks, but you'll be thankful to yourself if you do it. How do you keep intrusive thoughts out? Advice. Hello. I, F28, joined this group about a month ago after discovering 10 days before the wedding that my soon-to-be ex, F31, cheated on me. Since then she moved out of the apartment, and I have been dealing with some truly intrusive thoughts that I can't get rid of. I constantly ask myself what she is doing and who she is with. She is still in touch with the woman she cheated on me with and saw her just this past weekend. For context, her and I have been together for 10 years and there was never a sign she would do something like this. I want to go full North Carolina with her but can't bring myself to do it because I want closure and need to work on things with her, and alone, to achieve that. I also can't help but think about her with someone else and it's driving me crazy. Any advice? Sometimes closure is the North Carolina because you can never get closure from a narcissist. Please take up meditation. It will give you additional skills to let go of those intrusive thoughts. They still may come, but it gives you the skills needed to let go of that thought and let it pass. It is the attachment of holding that thought that causes more harm. Soon it is like it comes in one ear, and you just let it pass and move on to the next thought. Seems trite, but it worked wonders for me. Cognitive behavior therapy. I don't. I suffer through them day in and day out. Alcohol can help but also mainly makes it worse. Benzos are the best, but they're just a band-aid and kick the can down the road in addition to potential addiction. Exercise helps many, but my experience is it becoming a short-lived obsession. Therapy seemed to increase the intrusive thoughts for me. Your results may vary depending on the therapist. Ultimately, I found this is just the ride I'm on and I have to live with it. I'm sorry this happened to you. Do what's right for you, but I went about 6 months unable to sleep or stop my brain. I got on Wellbutrin and it was enough to shut off. Sleep at any amount a godsend, and once your anxiety is under control, you can work on managing the trauma. Did you take a break from your WS? Advice. I'm just curious to see if people took a break/separated from their WS for a bit before finding out if it's worth putting the work in for. If so, did you both see other people? I didn't attempt but had I wanted to, then there is no doubt that a separation would have been the first step. Just as an aside though, I broke up. Breakup conversations aren't a one and done. If the wayward doesn't want to leave the relationship, then they will not accept the finality of your decision and compete for you. It served the same purpose. During this time you have a lot of thinking to do, and that's much easier without the manipulations of the wayward trying to get their way. You need to be able to think clearly. As a BS, you need to determine if you can get past the acts themselves or if they are forever intrinsically linked to your wayward. This is a poor analogy, but it's what I've got. There are certain 20th century dictators that you can't mention by name without thinking of the terrible atrocities they caused. They are forever linked to these despicable acts. If you can't separate the person from the terrible choices and acts they performed at your expense, then don't try to. If every time they walk into the room then the mind movies start, then it's time to draw a line through the marriage. If you can get past the acts, then you need to decide what, if anything, the wayward can do to keep you in the relationship, or whether you are better off apart. You absolutely should not see other people during this time. It's confusing enough without throwing limerent feelings for another into the mix and having to deal with their wants and needs. You don't fix infidelity with more infidelity. Giving the wayward an equivalent act to draw a parallel with is exactly the last thing you want to do. For the wayward, a separation makes real-world consequences collide with the fantasy of the affair. It's important that the separation and no contact period is long enough. Here's why. During the first few weeks the wayward will actually be glad of it. It enables them to max out on time with their AP without being responsible to anyone, and with the pressure of discovery of the ongoing affair reduced. It's only after a few weeks that the doubts start creeping in. Is AP who they say they are? Is AP a viable replacement for BS? Is my marriage over? Am I headed for divorce? Is BS as bad as I thought, etc.? And this kills the limerent feelings for AP if is possible. It doesn't matter whether the BS says to the wayward anything about seeing other people or not. The wayward will do what they want. Bet it's not even something that the wayward suggests. Only a BS would feel the need to ask for this. If they do, then there's a fair bet that it's something that they want you to honor, but they have their own ideas on what they will do. The marriage vows didn't stop them, so why would this little promise? In fact, it's an acid test. What did the wayward do during the North Carolina period regarding other people? Did they eventually work out that AP was no good, break it off and start finding ways to recommit and work towards the betterment of the marriage, or were they out at clubs screaming whoop, whoop all night every night, etc.? Hope this helps. It does help. Thank you so much. WS clearly said to me she was unable to stop seeing the affair partner because she is in denial about the affair and wants to pursue with them to see if she fell in love with someone else or if that person was just there to fill in the gaps. I chose to get away from her and work on myself. I want to deal with issues I have that have been bothering me for a while. I also want to explore my single side. However, it does not mean I want to cut things off with her entirely, just because I feel like we still have issues to work through. I don't want to leave with hate, because I know it will consume me and affect my future relationships. I don't know if any of this makes any sense. That's an answer in and of itself. Your wayward didn't want to stop seeing the AP. There may be some truth in what she's saying, although it's a bit misrepresented. I'd be prepared to bet that it's backwards. Wayward knows herself. Most people do. If they know nothing else about themselves, they know their desires. What she doesn't know is what AP's intentions are. Does AP love her? Was Wayward just a fun distraction for AP to fill the gaps with? If you want to explore your single side, then that speaks volumes about whether the civil partnership was on a solid footing to begin with. Maybe you were better off as friends. However, things have moved on. There was a marriage which she couldn't uphold her part of. I'd like you to think long and hard whether a friendship is possible after this or is even desirable. I tend to surround myself with people that I trust and can rely on. People that will help/relate to me with no thought of reward, and I want to return these sentiments back to. A Wayward is not this person. We are a product of the 5 people closest to us. Surrounding yourself with good people makes you better. The reverse is also true. Besides, imagine you meet a new lady. You introduce her to your friendship group and she's a hit. How confident would you feel if your new lady went out without you but with the same friendship group that Wayward was still a part of? Having Wayward cheat with your new partner is a double slap. Choose your friends wisely. AP wants a full-blown relationship with her, so that is definitely not a question she has. For me, we have been together 10 years, from 18 to 28 in my case. I didn't have much time to explore before meeting her and being with her. I don't want to be in another relationship, but I do want to meet people and see what it feels like for me. I still love my WS, those feelings aren't going to go away anytime soon. I hate her for what she has done to me/us, but she has also been there for me in 10 years. She helped me through some really tough moments and we had really good times together. I am definitely in mourning, so many feelings at the same time it's hard to handle. If we cannot reconcile, I do not wish to stay friends with her just because it would be too difficult for me to see her be happy with someone else. We were lovers and best friends. If we can't get back to that point, there is no reason to keep seeing her. If she did stay in my group of friends for whatever reason and I was with someone else, it wouldn't even cross my mind that she could do anything with my new girlfriend. I don't put my trust in her, rather myself. There are things you can do to increase your chances for a good result either way. The main one is reading. 180 and lose a cheater get a life are good. You cannot be solid together if you cannot be solid apart. It goes without saying that you would need time with North Carolina to promote your own healing and development. Do not be passive with getting legal matters sorted. You'll find that your story is not uncommon, and those who refuse to act early always end up with greater regrets. I have been reading and researching a lot of stuff the past few days. I started therapy as well. It's really helping me figure things out for myself. What worries me is that she is spending so much time with her AP she can't focus on herself and do the work to get better. It really sucks seeing the person you love the most transform into someone you do not know. It is officially done. Need support. After 10 years together, 1 married, we are officially broken up. My WW decided it was more important to see AP than me. So I put an end to the pick-me dance. I have blocked her everywhere and wrote her a final letter for her to look at when she comes back to reality. It disgusts me to know she threw everything away for someone 7 years younger than her, who still lives with her parents, has a low-paying job, and lives all the way across the country. I worked so hard to offer us an incredible future, filled with happiness and life. She crushed everything and treated me like garbage. I am heartbroken and relieved. I feel like I won't survive this but also will come out stronger. It is a strange feeling. Be careful because she will be back. Her new relationship is not realistic. Move on. Oh, I hope that day actually happens. It would be a great victory to walk away from her sorry ass. But she is so deep in it, I'm not sure she will ever see how her life is effed up. Hugs to you up. I know it does not feel like it now but it will get better. And yes, she may be back. When the novelty wears off and she, rather than his parents, is supporting the loser, she will realize what an idiot she has been. Won't it be lovely to tell her to go F herself? Truth is, you will never get the closure/answers you are looking for. Cheaters are selfish, cowardly liars who blame their crappy decisions on everyone and everything but themselves. Good riddance to bad rubbish. The greatest revenge is a life well lived. Just remember, karma works on its own time schedule. You may not see the payback but have faith and it will happen. She is just a lesson you needed to learn, even though you may not realize it yet. Put up some defense walls and just keep pushing her out of your mind. You deserve better. Let the AP have her. They deserve each other. Do not wait around for that day. Even if it comes, it will confirm but only one thing. That is, she is a useless human. Do you want real revenge? Do you want to show her her biggest mistake was leaving you? Then move on without her or any part of her. Get a diet, set goals and get fit and happy in your own body. Gym. Exercise releases natural feel-good endorphins. It makes you feel good and look good. It opens doors with your new confidence. Boosts testosterone. You're single. The golden door for promotion or studies just opened. You study, you build a CV, you try for promotion because procrastination is your worst enemy. Promotion leads to more money, more security. In short, your garbage took itself out. Stop focusing on her. She is gone. Get her out of your head. Be the best version of you. Find a decent girl and marry, have kids and a life. If she ever shows up, and you did the rest correctly, you will feel nothing, nada, indifference. That's how you reward a cheater. With nothing, not even a backward glance. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are,